Alright, so I'm just gonna go over changing the strings. On my Sarangi, I changed all of the main gut strings. I did save the old originals. I put them in the package. You can see they're all kind of, they're really rough. They weren't good strings. They were just really cheap strings that it came with. So to replace the gut strings, you can buy new ones at, I think it's harp.com or any harp supply store. The first string, which I'm basing it on, this says the first, second, and third right here. So your first string, I was told to get 4th octave number 27. Second string, 5th octave number 29E. The third, 5th octave 32B. All these strings are pretty expensive. To replace 3 of them, I think I spent about $70. So they're not cheap. Make sure you get the, if it comes with sizes, check for the concert sized harp, because you do need quite a bit to wrap around the pegs. So I'm obviously not going to change any of these strings, but you'll see at the bottom, when you take your harp string, just try to, they come wound up. They're difficult to work with. Just try to pull it as straight as possible. And this isn't very easy, but try to get a knot at the bottom. What I did was I took the end and I wrapped it around my finger a few times just to loosen up the gut string. It's very, very hard to work with when it's brand new. So you'll need to kind of roughen it up a little bit, and then you can pull the knot in. Oops, sorry. Then you obviously just pull it up through the, it's a allotted hole. Wrap it up through. And then I added this because I ended up having to get another first string because this was a little, this area was too rough and it ripped it. But then you just wrap it through the hole and right here, and then spin it around as much times as needed. You might have to do it a few times to make sure that your pegs are all wrapped up the same way. That way, you might turn clockwise each way to tighten. You don't want one clockwise and then one counterclockwise to tighten it. You'll kind of get confused that way. So I've never changed the sympathetic strings before, but I imagine the top ones seem pretty easy. You just would stick it through the hole, spin it around, go through the allotted little holes here, go down to the end, find whatever hole that you need to spit that through. My guess is mine's right up here on the top that I need to go through. But of course you start at the bottom, then work your way up the bottom of the Sarangi, and then wrap to the top. These, if you look closely, and this is what I noticed when I broke the strings and I took it out, looks like it's just a small bend in the wire that goes through, and then goes down to the side, and then goes up through the wire and then through. So I'm going to try to restring that top sympathetic string. Now you'll see here on the side there's also, I'm missing some of the strings here. One of the reasons why I haven't bothered doing this is because I'm not really sure how to get in here well. the one in front, you can see that there's one string missing on that front piece. That would be easy. I wouldn't have a problem changing that string. But I'm missing ones from the further back, and it's like I have no idea how to get... You can't even see it on the camera because it's so dark, but the strings, the pegs in the back, I've tried messing around in there a few times, and it's just so tight. I'm not sure how do you even get in there to change a string. So these were the spare sympathetic strings that I was given. It just says number 2 steel. Okay, so I took the that number 2 steel was just all one piece. It wasn't pre-cut or anything. So I just took a piece, and that was about twice the length of the Sarangi. So that should give us, in theory, plenty of room. So basically, I'm just going to fold this down, this top piece down, and I just followed the top sympathetic string that's going to be right next to mine, which you're probably not going to be able to see this at all, which is right here. And you can see that's home, so I'm just going to put mine right in that space next to it. So this is going to go in last, I think. This is trial and error for me. I've never done this before, based on what I saw when I took this thing apart. I'm going to go down the hole, and I'm going to pull this piece out the bottom. Keep pulling. Okay, so now I'm at the top again. Sorry, this is like the crappiest video ever. But I haven't seen any other videos on YouTube on how to do this. Alright, so I'm just going to stick this in a little bit, just so we can kind of get started here. My ends a little bit. Straighten that out some. Okay, I think I'm finally getting in. Hold on, I'm just going to pause it to fix this. Alright, so I fixed that. The bottom was just a little too bent to get in well. So I have most of it in. So I'm going to take the, find the bottom piece of my steel and try not to get it all tangled together. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to thread it through this piece here. And then I'm going to go up right here next to, right here is the sympathetic string that's going to be next to, so I'm just going to go right into the next hole. And I'm going to pull it through. Oops, lost it. It'd be easier to do this without trying to hold a camera. I can't find my little camera stand, so I'm just gonna pull it. Okay, so you can see here that piece, our little loop has tightened up a lot. It's gone down quite a bit, and I'm sure it'll get further down once we pull it tighter. I'm up through this hole. Now I'm going to move up to the top of the Sarangi. Okay, so I'm up at the top, and you'll see these little holes. I'm going to thread it right through the next one. Alright, so the string's pulled through, and then we're just going to follow the same pattern that these are. We're going to just thread it through the hole and loop it around, and I already know I'm going to have a lot extra string, so I'm just going to cut whatever seems too excessive. Most of these are wrapped around, some of them multiple times, but like that one in the back here. But I don't want, you know, really much more than that. But we'll just do what feels right. And I'll just use the Naka to tighten it up. Actually, I think it'll be easier to wrap it around the bottom first and then put it through the hole. So I'm just going to, just a basic, I've already kind of cut off what I thought would be way too excessive. Just do this a few times and then we'll finish up the top. Okay, so I have it wrapped. I pulled it through the hole once. However, let me show you this one. All of the strings, it looks like it's pulled through and then the end is again wrapped around and just stuck through, and I guess it just holds in place. So I'm going to go back to my string, my peg, and I'm going to go wrap it a little bit around, and you'll never be able to see it with my fingers in the way, but I'll just try to stick it through the hole and let's just hope for the best. Okay, I got it pulled through, and looks really messy right now, but I'm sure once I tighten the string, it'll all kind of work out. I kind of folded the end of the, I don't think you can see it, but I just folded it a little bit so it wouldn't slip back out.